Future Tense by Kyle Williamson. Interior, back at apartment, early morning. Rob Lucas, 18-year-old boy, then drove off, got back to his apartment where Max Berghoff, homeless-looking man, was standing. Rob invited him in.
I didn't look at the file folder, got busy, then blasted by this curfew nonsense. Your report must be about the asteroid, right?
Max told him no, but he had heard about it, saying that could end the research.
One way or another, this planet is doomed.
Rob picked up the folder and began to go through it as Max discussed it with him. Rob was floored by what he heard and read.
Biogenic warfare! This government plans to rid this planet of male species, with the exception of a few protected men. I'm sure all the restrictions are as much a part of that as this asteroid. It has to be made public. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. Here's proof. Pictures of the lab site. Official documents. You have to help me.
Rob shook his head.
I need a beer, even if it is early.
Rob got himself a beer from the refrigerator. His other identification said he was 21, so he could legally buy it. Then Rob said to Max he didn't know what he could do.
We could call multiple newspapers, but it's doubtful anyone could get this public. I have to meet someone tomorrow. Call them first. They have connections in all sorts of unique places. That's how I learned of the asteroid. Maybe they can help. Do you have any further evidence that may help?
Max gave Rob more pictures and documents, thanking him.
I've been spotted already. I'm not sure how safe it is. I'm staying at a place listed on the last document. Meet me there to inform me of your progress.
Rob nodded, then Max left.
Now on to my other problem, the money.
Rob's only idea he didn't care for much, but was up against a wall. Exterior, going to the bank, morning. So after the banks opened, he went to a bank in a close-by suburb. He asked questions about an account, checked out the place, then left. Exterior, errands, day. Rob did several things during the day. Shopped, ate, even met up with Kelly for a few hours. He even worried about the possibility of Max being right. He even said to Rob the weapon was supposed to be launched soon. Rob couldn't worry about that then. He and Kelly were having a good time. When she went to sleep, Rob left to go to the bank. He checked out. Interior bank, middle of the night. Dressed all in a white, fully covered suit, including hood. With padding to look heavier and inserts to appear taller, Rob managed to break into the vault, where he took only what he needed, the $200,000. Then, as he heard sirens from an obvious silent alarm, he ran out. He made it back to the motel. Kelly was still sleeping, so he laid down just before she woke up, saying she had to go. It was almost curfew time. Exterior, driving Kelly home, very early morning. Rob drove her close to her house, then just before 10, he drove outside of town. Exterior, after dropping Kelly off, early morning. Rob burned the white suit, padding and shoe lifts, before going to his apartment and laying down because he was tired. The next thing he knew, someone was pounding on his door. He looked at the clock. It was nearly 8 the following morning. Rob wandered his way to the door, opened it, and 2 detectives asked if they could come in. Rob asked what it was about as they came in. Rob went to get a shirt.
You were spotted at the Second Ames Bank inquiring about a checking account yesterday. The bank was robbed last night. $200,000 was taken from the vault by a person dressed in a white outfit, almost a ninja-type design. We were wondering if you saw anyone suspicious when you were there. Why didn't you open an account? And where were you last evening? I'm Detective Elaine Michelson. Myself and Detective Mervyn Garrison are checking all the leads.
Rob chuckled, put on his shirt as he noticed Elaine's eyes on him as Garrison began checking around the apartment.
Funny you're looking around. Am I a suspect? I saw several people. What type was I supposed to see? Until just before 10, I was with a female friend. Then I came here and I went to bed. If you care to check, she and I went to eat. I'm sure someone can vouch for us. Do you want the restaurant name or the address? Oh, the reason I didn't open an account. I already have one, just checking into lower rates, you know. In fact, theirs were a bit higher. Now, what else do you need to know?
Detective Michelson said he was not a suspect. They were just being thorough. Then the 2 began to leave.
If you want to investigate any more, to be thorough or anything, give me your number.
She smiled, then said she could not fraternize with possible leads for cases. The 2 left. Rob felt secure he led them astray. He He wanted to meet Mac as soon as possible to offload the money, so he called Deb. They cryptically decided on a spot to meet. The following morning, early on Sunday. Rob didn't think anything would be going on with all the curfew and paranoid people, so he ordered a pizza and watched some television before going to bed. He had set the alarm to go meet Mac and probably Deb as well. Around 2 in the morning, Rob was awakened by someone making noise inside his apartment. He got up, threw on some jeans, then grabbed a baseball bat. Slowly opened the door, just enough to see. It was police going through his apartment, along with detectives Michelson and Garrison.
What the fuck are you doing? Trespassing? Burglary? Get out and do it now.
He tossed down the bat. Garrison ordered 2 officers to search the bedroom. Rob grabbed his shoes and shirt as Michelson handed him a search warrant.
This gives us rights to search all of the people's homes that were at the bank the day it was robbed. Your car has already been searched. This is a no-knock search warrant. We are within our rights. We will leave when we are thoroughly done.
Rob laughed, shook his head.
Whatever, fine. Have fun. I'm leaving. When I get back, you better be gone.
Then Garrison told him to stop. Rob didn't.
Rob Lucas, yes. We know you're here under an assumed name. We know all about you. Besides, the curfew's in effect. You cannot leave. We are taking you into custody on several charges, along with aiding a bank robber. Unless it was you. Then, of course, it'll be bank robbery.
Rob chuckled, hoping he could throw them off the track.
Curfew? Who cares? I have something I have to do. I'm a tax-paying citizen. I don't know any Rob Lucas. And like I said, be gone when I get back. I haven't broken any laws.
Exterior, going down to car, night. Rob walked out and down to his car, confident the money was still where he had put it. He got in his car. An officer had followed him, pulling a gun, saying he had to come with him.
All you have is a theory and speculation. Get some real charges and I will go with you. And until then, join your detective friends and piss off.
Exterior, driving, middle of the night. Rob's assumed name gimmick was coming to an end. As he was driving, he looked for the proof Max gave him, plus the money, figuring the police had not found either.
Didn't figure they would look inside the back on the passenger seat where the NOS is at.
Then Rob noticed a cruiser following him. The lights were not on right then. Rob had a little over an hour, so he led the cruiser through a maze of back and dirt roads. Finally losing him, but figured the driver of the cruiser called in the car, so he rushed to meet Mac. Parking several blocks away, he grabbed the money and proof, then walked to the alley they decided to meet. Exterior, meeting Mac early morning, at meeting site.
I heard of the bank robbery and the APB out on you under the assumed name for resisting arrest and possible bank robbery. Is that how you got this payment? I'm proud of you, my boy. You know, we have people for that. I put a rush on the plan. Your aunt and uncle should be arrested any time. Evidence is in their home. Once in custody, the hit will be made. You better get back and smooth things over. I will have Deb make a call.
Rob thanked him, never admitting to the robbery, then left. Exterior, going back to apartment, night. Headed back to his apartment, putting the proof back where he got it. Interior, back at apartment, morning. Garrison and Michelson were still there. Rob's place was trashed. Garrison ordered an officer to cuff him.
Oh, wait. I left to check out something. It was something I was told by Max Berghoff. Turns out it wasn't anything. That's why, the curfew thing. And as for the bank robbery, well, come on, really? Did you find anything that you could use to tie me to it?
Michelson shook her head no, then said his fingerprints. They took off a glass, matched those of Rob Lucas. Rob began to get a bit nervous, but kept a poker face, saying they could have been planted. Then Garrison got a call.
Yes, sir, I understand. With all due respect, this is the same guy. Chief says the prints don't match. We have to let him go, even on the curfew violation charge. I'm supposed to apologize to you.
Rob opened the door, then they all left. Rob went back to bed, figuring he would clean up later. Rob slept for a couple more hours, then got up and began to straighten up his place, which took nearly 2 hours, the mess everyone made. Then he heard on the news about the arrest of his aunt and uncle, them confessing to killing his parents. A smile came to Rob's face as he made copies of Max's documents, putting them in envelopes to drop off at local newspapers to get the word out. He hoped if it was true that it would stop the plans someone had. He knew any chance of resuming his old life were over when the cops got his fingerprints. Even though Deb took care of it for him, the chances were very slim.
I have a diploma under my new name and my old. I could choose to try my old life, but I think I'll do what Max suggested to begin with. Just embrace a new one.
Then someone knocked on the door. It was Max. Rob informed him of what he had done.
Too late, Lane. The rocket's supposed to be launched today. I just got word from a friend I still have.
Max gave him some documentation. Lane Keller was Rob's new name.
We still got a few hours. Maybe we can get to the base and shut them down somehow. Otherwise, if you're right, this would be genocide on a global scale.
Max said he could not help. He was not healthy enough. Plus, the launch site of the shuttle carrying the missiles was 5 states away in Florida. Max got a call informing him the documentation sent to newspapers had been intercepted. Then someone began shooting up Rob's apartment, which was on the ground floor. With an automatic weapon, Rob hit the floor, crawling to the bathroom and the tub, figuring he would be safe there. When the shooting stopped, Rob got up. Max was dead. Sirens were on their way. The television still worked. A special was on about a shuttle launch had been moved up, talking about a satellite being put into orbit, which Max's friend said was the cover story for what was really happening. Rob hung his head as police came into the apartment. They asked what happened. Rob explained. Garrison was still on duty.
You're constantly on my radar. The man Max Berghoff, from what we know of him, he is a crackpot. Into a number of spying con games. Apparently he tried to get you involved. He obviously got involved in something bigger than he expected. Do you need police protection? It can be provided.
Obviously, I need a new place to live. Lock up for what it's worth. When you're done, I'm not coming back.
Exterior leaves his apartment mourning. Rob then left after giving his statement of what happened. He stopped at a local mom-and-pop diner for food. It showed footage of the shuttle releasing missiles. Word from the space program was that it was a failed mission, and as the shuttle exploded, everyone gasped in horror. Rob expected something like that. Then he knew Max was right. However, he didn't know how long most people would live to see many more days. Rob continued eating as everyone at the diner expressed their emotions about the explosion and loss of life. Within minutes, people began falling asleep right where they were. Everyone in the diner, except Rob. Outside, he heard several accidents. He checked some of their pulses.
They aren't sleeping. They're dead. What the hell is it? The weapon, this fast? What can I do? Why am I not affected? At least not yet, that is.
From a phone, Rob tried to call the police. The lines were all busy. He imagined the people that did survive were horrified. He had to admit he was in shock himself. Rob's first thought was to stay in the diner. At least he wouldn't get hit by a car. Then he thought some people like him might have survived, so he should try to go get help.
It's only logical if I've survived, others must have. I guess Max was wrong when he said this was only meant to kill the men. Looks like it's not very discriminating, men or women.
Exterior, out in the chaos, afternoon. Cars were everywhere. Fires, smoke. Several bodies laying on the sidewalks, in the streets. Rob went around trying to find anyone alive. Wherever he went, he found nobody still living. He still believed some others had to survive, so he began walking. He wanted to go to a populated place, so he tried the police station. At first, he didn't see nobody left alive. As he hung his head and was about to leave, Rob heard a faint crying sound. He looked around, then called out to the person. Finally, he found a woman hiding under a desk. By the way she was dressed, he knew she wasn't a cop. She grabbed onto Rob very tightly, saying,
You're alive. What is going on?
Rob said he didn't know what was going on, then asked what her name was.
I was just being booked. Then everyone fainted. They're dead, aren't they?
Rob shook his head yes, saying he checked.
We better get you some different clothes. Not that I mind, but who knows what we will find out here.
The woman said adamantly she didn't want to go. She would wait there for someone. Rob tried to tell her it was the same everywhere. He had been for blocks. She still insisted she wanted to wait there.
Very well. I'm going to try to find someone alive. Good luck. I hope someone does come for you.
Exterior walking, afternoon continuous. Rob continued to walk for hours. He ended up back at his old apartment where he needed to get some sleep. Interior, back at his apartment, night. He had went through all the apartments. Nobody there was alive. Still, he needed some sleep, so he went into his bullet-riddled apartment and went to bed. The following morning, Rob hoped it had all been a bizarre nightmare. He quickly found out that it was not a nightmare. It was all too real.